Welcome to another episode. This time I'll be discussing about the IT industry evolution as how it happened right from year 2000 to 2010 and 2020 and the future as well. So in case if you're a student, you're starting a career in IT or few years into IT or just out of interest, please stay tuned and watch the video in full, and it is going to be pretty useful, and please do subscribe to my channel as well. So why me? The reason is I've been in the industry. My background is a computer engineer. I graduated in 1990, so that's quite long. So that way I've seen all this trend which happened in the IT industry. So I thought I'll just present the IT industry evolution so that it could benefit others as well. So if you are planning what would be my future, because we are even the best of the best industry, IT industry, bigwigs like Apple or Google or Amazon, the layoffs have become very common. So how do you prepare yourself for the future? So just follow what has happened in the IT industry and then you can plan your future as well, considering all as how it had happened in the IT industry. So this is again, though the comparison is between 2000, 2010, 2020, it's plus or minus 5 years. Otherwise, this is pretty much what had happened in the IT industry in the respective years. And basically, I'll be comparing on the technology parameters, that's hardware, network, architecture, and software. It's not technical, so don't worry about it. It's just a high level, just to understand what, I'll say internet was born, so you need to know what is internet. So it's not something related to hardcore technology. You can very well understand. So that is the comparison. One is a technology parameter, and otherwise the next one is of course the opportunities as well. So two parameters. One is the technology parameters. The next one is of course the opportunity. So year 2000, that's plus or minus 5 years, that is maybe 1995 to 2000, about 2005, plus or minus 5 years. Technology, if you look at technology, what was that? Hardware was mainframe system, and you had PCs, that is personal computers. Laptop was a rarity. Otherwise, if you're a mainframe consultant, you're good in COBOL programming, an associated mainframe component, you can get easily, you would be able to get a job. You are considered as an expert. Similarly, PC. So mainly, the focus was on mainframe system. So if you are good in mainframe system, you can you will be get attracted, or you would be placed in a job far more easier than compared to if you have knowledge on a PC itself, working knowledge on PC, because those days it was programming language was something like BASIC, Pascal, not many opportunities, but mainframe, yes, there are a lot of opportunities in mainframe. It's around mid 1990s. Networks, commonly mainframe, then client server technology when it was PC, because you had a server, then you had the client machines hooked onto it. www, that's internet, was born, and again if you look at the speed, it was 56 kbps. So with that speed, that is 56 kbps, you hardly can open a static web page. Mostly they are of just HTML web pages, so just static web page, and even that was taking time to open, and most of the time it would not have worked. That's, I'm talking about 1998. Software, proprietary or licensed software, Windows were born 1995, Windows was born, 97 is what was, otherwise it was MS-DOS prior to 1995, and Windows as such, it became an independent OS from 1998, that is Windows 98 version. So that was the time when Windows was born. And then opportunities, H1B, US opened their floodgates, and everybody who has knowledge on computer, if they can do a small programming even with bubble sort, those days it was easy to get H1B. And if you say that I know mainframe system, you would be immediately H1B got processed. And maybe if you say even said I'm good in HTML, yes, that itself was good enough to get your H1B process. Getting to US was a dream, and that through body shopping. It's concept of body shopping, just like an entity will get you to US and then will place you in some company in US for working. So you had H1B. So those who had knowledge on just computers with some programming knowledge, they were able to get opportunities to go to abroad on H1, and the offshoring was very rarity. Even the big companies like Infosys or Wipro or TCS, it was just there are thousands of people who are employed, and most of them were deputed to work in the industry. So that's about 2000, year 2000 plus or minus 5 years. And there was a .com burst, and it is called the Web 1.0. Static web pages doesn't talk to a database. So Web 1.0 .com burst came in 2000. The first recession we heard, people did lose job, layoffs were there at that point of time as well. So then in 2010, how was the technology? Look at technology, mainframe system was getting obsolete, not much of opportunities. People had to look out for other options. Three-tier architecture where browser, then client server. Browser, that is any system apps was, any application was developed keeping internet in mind. And that's where Web 2.0 was common, because there was an interaction with the database. Internet got consolidated, and broadband technology, I mean at least 512 kbps and above became quite common, or at least 256 512 kbps speed was decent enough to work with even from home was a possibility. I mean around 2008-9, and very few companies provided this luxury of working from home concept. That is late 2000s, around 2009-10 and above. And then if you look at the software, ERP and business intelligence and plus Java. And Java was belonging to Sun Microsystem, which was taken over by Oracle. So open source, it all started with Java. Before that, it was proprietary software or a licensed software. The open source, the first one get to be known is the Java, that was from the Sun Microsystems. So if you're a consultant in ERP, business intelligence, for example, if it is OBIE, Cognos, those things you could always get placed as well. So that's about the software. Opportunities, the on-site offshore model, distributed working model, because it was much more, you had a team in the offshore, probably it could be India with US team working in the respective hours. It's a distributed working model came into play around 2005 to 8-10 onwards. So plus or minus 2010, I said, plus or as I said, it's plus or minus 5 years. Web 2.0, there was a crisis in 2008. There was layoffs as well, and there was a recession. So that was in 2008, around that time. So this is the technology after 10 years after 2000. And now let's look at 2020, how it is. Technology, if you look at technology, it's industry 4.0. the cloud, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Cloud is there everywhere. I mean, the companies no longer procure a server. They don't host a server. It's mostly cloud. And you have Amazons, you have Googles, you have Oracle, you have Microsoft, the big four cloud players. And along with Industry 4.0 is what the IoT, big data, that is all coming into play as well. So network, broadband, fiber optics, and this is an important point. No longer it makes a difference where you work. The speed is all the same. So network doesn't play a major role, whether you work from home, whether you work from office, except for some of the security related issues. The speed doesn't matter. So that's where the more and more remote works or the concept of gig based works, that is freelancing, is catching up these days. And software, proprietary software, licensed software is going down, whereas cloud, open source is catching up big time. The open source meaning you use the software unless you're for developments, there's no cost, but of course based on commercial use there could be some fee you need to pay. Number of users you use, all those restrictions are there. You need to be particularly careful when it comes to deployment. Opportunities, work, learn from anywhere. This is now almost accepted. And that's going to be the trend in the future. Work and learn from anywhere. You don't need to get big MS kind of a degree. You don't need to get to abroad. You don't need to learn something. Only if you go to an university in abroad, you can learn that technology. Nothing of that sort. With a cloud, you can learn anywhere, anytime, at your own pace, and you can even get certified. That is going to make an impact in the future. So work, learn from anywhere. That is what is going to be in the future. So work, I'm repeating that, work and learn from anywhere. That is going to be the mantra of the future as well. Now it is Web 3.0, which involves blockchain, that is distributed systems. There is not going to be a centralized one. And pandemic, and we have seen pandemic in the last couple of years, and the cost pressure, because if you're going to put at developed countries like US or UK or anywhere, there is the salary is different because of cost of living, and what is being paid in India and what is being paid in US, there is a huge difference, and that is putting cost pressures on all the big companies, and that is where the layoffs are more there, more in US, UK compared to the lesser cost countries like India. So considering all this, what is the future is going to look like? The future is going to be mostly gig based economy. That's more of a freelance. You are an expert in certain technology, then yes, you work on timely basis instead of this is again not immediate, but this is catching up. That's what I wanted to say. More opportunities rather than working in a same company for years together. So maybe that freelancing is what our gig economy is going to catch up. And it could be like if you take 2010 onwards, people used to work for 10, 15, 20 years. Even now it is there, but it is a rarity, people working for 10, 15, 20 years. So working in one company, even for a few years, meaning IT kind of an industry, whether it is product based, yes, there is a possibility, but in consulting, it could be a rarity. More on, once you get into the gig economy, it's more of hourly and task based work. Then flexible working hours, work from anywhere. That is important. And the final point is that you need to keep learning. Why you need to keep learning is that the rate of obsolescence is so very high that you need to keep learning. But if you have the basics strong on hardware and software, you can learn anything from anywhere. For example, when I was in college, I never heard the term internet, or for that matter, what is a cloud. But now, since I had my basic strong, getting into internet or getting to learn cloud on my own and even getting certifications on my own, it's not a challenge. So if you have the basic strong, you can learn from anywhere, anytime. You can learn it. And with the cloud, it's totally decentralized. You don't need to get into a university or to an institute to learn it. You can do it all by yourself. There are enough material, enough courses on just not at YouTube alone. There are structured courses available in Udemy. It's all cost you just a few dollars for maybe $10, $15. You can take a course and learn it. So you can, and again there is also free tier concept, free open source concept. So all that you need is a laptop. You can provision the virtual machine, you can provision the database, and you can learn from it. So anywhere, anytime, learning is also is the order of the day. So keep that in mind. Few years of working in the company, you can then probably you can decide and get into a gig economy, which is growing very fast. Again, as per one of the report, 50% of the consultant in developed economies like US, UK, they are all into gig economy, that is in freelance. So they shift project and they earn money. India is catching up. Maybe the future it will be a gig economy which will overtake the structured form of working in a company. Or even in a company, there people will be working based on a contract for certain period of time. So that's about the future. So I hope you found this presentation useful. Please do subscribe to my channel. If you do have any comment, please do post it as well. Thank you.